So today's session, as ma'am has already said, today's session is on portfolios. So please do allow me to share my screen so that we can begin with the same. So I hope the slideshow, let me begin it with the slideshow. Give me a go ahead in the chat box if the slides are visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. So my dear teachers, you all must be aware of the portfolios because we have been giving this to our students to create the portfolios. And as per CBSE, we have to give proper marks. Assessment has to be done based on the portfolios for each subject. For junior classes, we do go for integrated portfolios, but as they grow in the senior grades, we go for individual portfolios. And in the internal assessment, there are specific marks that have been allocated. You know very well, if in any exam that comprises of 100 marks, in that there are basically in the scholastic areas, there are internal assessment marks for where periodic test marks are there, multiple assessment is there, portfolio is there, subject enrichment is there, and then midterm annual term weightage that varies from board to board. The same that is reflected in front of you in the screen here right now for midterm annual term, which is written 30, that has been the latest guidelines for 22-23 shared by Delhi board. Rest 20 marks, they are all same, right? So today we will be covering portfolio. In the maybe upcoming sessions, we will be talking about multiple assessments, subject enrichment, and other activities as well. So I just want to ask you people, first of all, if you can ping in the chat box, how you are conducting, how you are giving these 5 marks to the students in different subjects, because internal assessment is being given. What I have observed in some of the schools, they consider just their notebook work. And if the notebooks they have maintained properly covered, index is maintained, notebook has been, you see, checked well in time. So they give them marks accordingly as per the maintenance, right? So they give rubrics for the notebooks maintained for the students. And in some of the schools, they just allocate based on the homework that they assign, the assignments that they give. So if you can just ping in the chat box, how do you grade this? Then I will be able to move further. So let me see what kind of responses can I have in the chat box. Any responses? How do you grade in your school, the portfolios? Then we'll be talking about next. Yes, ma'am, any responses? Can you just read if you have got any response in the chat box? Or I can also just, in our school, okay, I can get the chat over here. In our school notebook, task completion, creativity, we are asking the students to create portfolio in which the personal memorandum and activity subject-wise are included. Students' project work, okay, somewhere project work, rubrics for class participation, projects, book maintenance, creativity, content. So they are the different kinds of rubrics. All activities done in a year, project base. Yes, yes. Very good. Thanks for your responses, dear all. So here we shall go ahead with what all things can be included in a portfolio. What exactly is the portfolio all about? So let's move ahead. See, as you can see here on the screen, journals, notebooks, portfolios. Notebooks, portfolios, there are different varieties of portfolios that are considered, that varies from, see, school to school, place to place. But exactly what we want in a portfolio, see, they can make in the form of notebook as well, in the form of scrapbook as well, where they will be able to put their best work, And the creation of the portfolios, actually, as you can see the highlighted terms over here, it broadens the scope of learning. And Why? Because we want to achieve the diverse curriculum outcomes. Nowadays, we have been talking about learning outcomes. NCRT has already shared with us very good learning outcome manuals that have been given to us for elementary stage, for senior secondary stage, and now for the higher secondary stage also, we are having our manuals with us. For that, we'll be able to go through the what are the learning outcomes, what we want to achieve. So looking at those learning outcomes, we have to make our basis for the portfolio, like what all things to be included in a portfolio by a student. It should be a 360-degree holistic evaluation. It should have self-reflection. It should have peer reflection. It should have teacher reflection. It should have parent reflection. That only comprises of 360-degree evaluation. So, see, now, if we talk about the overview of the portfolio, generally, what do we consider? It's a collection of the work that is gathered over a period of time. Over a period of time. It's not like that we are doing the portfolios just at the end of the year, maybe the last months of the year. Maybe we are giving it as a holidays homework in summer break, in winter break. We say, okay, whatever holidays homework you have done, that will be a part of the portfolio. No, that's not. That is a collection of the work that has been gathered over a period of time, right from when the child gets admission in a class, okay, or the child is promoted to the new class, and the child maps his or her goals and all, and then makes a roadmap. This is my goal, this is my vision, and accordingly he or she creates a roadmap. This is what my aims are, this is what my goals are, and I have to achieve. Whatever the child is learning, the child keeps on keeping the same in a folder with the help of, with the guidance of the teachers, the mentors. Here, teachers' presence is very, very important. Teachers, they guide the students for the selection of their best work, right? As you can see, it is the authentic representation. It should not have any of the work like in the holidays homework. If any of the work that is beautifully done, maybe by the parents, maybe they have got it done from any kind of outside agency or a body, and they are submitting the same, that will not be considered as a part of their portfolio. That is authentic work to be done by the students only. And actually, we can say it's a kind of a storybook that captures the students' progression, learning as they move on through the year. So if I talk about what do educationists say about it, so educationists, they talk about like it's a purposeful collection. Arter and Spandel, they have mentioned in their journal, like it's a purposeful collection of the students' work that reflects their efforts, their achievements in more, diverse areas. It's not like that we are focusing one area. We are focusing either one or two subjects, math, science, or English, if we are considering that they are important, and we are leaving Hindi or other languages behind. No. We consider academics, we consider co-curricular activities, and we consider outdoor extracurricular activities as well. And even what the children, if they would like to add about their personal interest, their personal interest areas, their likes and dislikes, they can add that as well in the portfolio, right? If they are involved in any kind of community service activities, they can add that project, that part also. They can integrate the same what they are learning in the school. As SUPW, we have been doing SEWA, like socially useful productive work, or maybe socially empowered for work, education, and action. That is there by CBSE. Our children, they have been involved in that. So any kind of activities, if they are involved in, they can share that as well. Now, going further, see what portfolio is not. See, you have been doing FRAIR model. In that FRAIR model, when we teach our students, then we write one term, then they define the term, then they give some examples, then they give some non-examples too. Like if they are talking about circle, this is a definition of the circle. What are the different examples? So they will be drawing some examples that are circle in nature, and non-example, they will be drawing some things that are not belonging to that particular term that we are talking about. So here we should also know like what are the portfolios we have already talked about. Now, what portfolio is not? It is not a placeholder for all the random student work. It's not like that, that what all students they have done throughout the year. No, we will keep on putting that in the portfolio. No, the same cannot be done. We will be just ensuring, first of all, we need to check the objective of the portfolio. There are different kinds of portfolios that we'll be talking in the next slide. And then we will be talking which kind of portfolio we have to do. We have to guide our students to go for it, right? So according to the purpose of the students, we have to select the best work of the students, so that they'll be able to put the same in the portfolio, right? So otherwise, collection of any kind of random work, the students, they have done 50, 100 activities in a year, and we just collect and we just put in the folder. We say, okay, the same has been done, indexing has been done, and then we submit, or this is the work we have done, and we expect like maybe we have done great job. No. Now look here on the screen. There are different kinds of portfolios. One is a kind of showcase portfolio. You all teachers, if I talk about generally art and craft teachers, when they go for an interview, they carry with them a portfolio in which they are having the different art forms they are very good at. They just show it. That is a kind of their branding, right? And even if I create my portfolio, in that I will be putting my best work, like in what areas, in what fields I have been associated with past many years, what I have done in the field of education, how I am contributing in my school, how I am contributing to the society, what all things I am doing. So that will be a kind of showcase for portfolio. Another one is a process portfolio. When we are talking about a process portfolio, it means we will be showing the different steps of a particular task. Like right from the beginning, if I have taken a project in my hand, I have to show the initial steps. I have to show the steps when I'm moving from one step to another, and then major milestones also I can show, like this is what really I'm very, very happy because I have achieved one milestone, right? And then we move ahead and we show the final work as well. So it shows our learning progression from the day one till we achieve success, right? And now the third type is assessment portfolio that we are going to talk about today, right now. For our students, they have to create assessment portfolios because that portfolio will be assessed. We have to give marks to the students as it is already defined by CBSE, 5 marks for a portfolio. If they are having English subject, Hindi subject, mathematics, sciences, social sciences, it will be 80 marks paper, 20 marks internal assessment. From that 20 marks, 5 marks for portfolios for each subject. So the students, they have to create those kinds of portfolios for different subjects. Right now, the choice is ours, how we just would like to go ahead. We want to go ahead it in the form of digital portfolio. We want to create it in the hard copy. This is our choice. This will be decided by the school, right? What kind of devices are available with the students if they are lacking the devices, because see, you have already seen during this pandemic past 2 years, most of the students, they were not able to attend the online classes because of the lack of devices. So that's called the digital divide. So they were not able to do. Then we gave a choice to the students. If you want to go ahead with the e-portfolio, that's your choice. If you want to go with the hard copy one, scrapbook, you can go with that as well. So that is entirely an organization's choice. Now, assessment, as I'm talking about, our students will be putting, they're just keeping their best work in the folder. And even then, you see that will be assessed, will be giving marks, that is assessment portfolio. One is hybrid kind of portfolio, that will be a combination of all the three. But today we'll be focusing on only assessment kind of portfolio for our students. So now, let's talk about what goes into a portfolio. What all things we can add in a portfolio. First of all, the classwork, any kind of assignments or worksheets that you give to your students that are graded, maybe that are ungraded. It doesn't matter like every time we give grades to our students for their work. Sometimes we just give remarks, right? That kind of assignments. And suppose the junior class children are there, they are learning to write the letters of the alphabet. It's not necessary that every time we'll be giving grades or marks to them. We may check and we may accordingly see now the student, the child has reached a stage where child is able to write all the letters independently, right? So we can put that work. Maybe the child's initial scribbling, doodling, that can also be put over there to show like the child started from this place and now has reached at this stage. So you can put that kind of assignments over there. Artistic pieces, any kind of art integrated projects, maybe that you assign as a part of holidays homework, maybe that you assign as a part of SUPW work, maybe any other collaborative task, any other formative assessment, whatever you are doing, that can be assigned and that can be put in that folder. Now, you can put some photographs as well, because the children, when they go for excursions, outside field trips and all, then they learn something new. So they would like to share their learnings from that. They can put their pictures as well, right? And if I talk about a variety of media on a digital platform, it becomes easy for us. We can add any kind of audio, video, links, PPTs, anything we'll be able to insert to make our portfolio impressive, right? And all demonstrating the concepts that you have mastered. Again, I'm using this term, the concepts that you have mastered. I mean, the children, they have mastered a particular art, particular form, particular topic that can be added over there, mastered. The best work of the students to be done, not any randomly kind of work is acceptable at all. Now, items to be in sync with the parameters of the purpose of the portfolio itself. We have to talk about the purpose. See, if I am talking about integrated project, I'll be able to put different kinds of activities that have been done in integration. Like nowadays we just integrate different subjects, either with sports, with co-curricular activities, maybe with other subjects, sciences with social sciences, maths with English. So we can do like that also. But if I am talking about subject specific portfolio, if I'm talking about just mathematics, right, I will be putting that kind of activities that the children, they have done art integrated project. Suppose a child had participated in any kind of assembly, and in that assembly you have conducted a yoga dance, right? So they will be able to add in that, yes, that activity was very, very interesting because I have learned my maths topics in that assembly through that dance. So they can put that pictures also. So we have to be very, very careful about the learning objectives, about the learning outcomes, and only then we'll be able to add pictures over there and documents over there. Now, self-assessment, peer assessment, teacher assessment, parent assessment, that I have already talked about. Teacher-student collaboration. See, I have already said, I'm stressing upon it. It's not only the student who will decide what has to be put in the folder. Teacher as a mentor, as a guide, has to guide the student, like in the selection of the work. Like these are so many tasks that you have done. Suppose we are talking about map work. A child has completed maybe map work 10 times, 15 times in a first term. And after that, child would like to select which is my best work, and teacher will be able to guide. Like this is your best work because you have maybe covered all the topics. Maybe you have mastered now locating various places over there. You have marked it very well. So this is how teacher will be able to guide, right? So this was all about the purpose of the portfolio. Now we have talked about what goes into a portfolio. Now it comes purpose of a portfolio. An authentic form of assessment. I've already said it's authentic form of assessment. Only child's original work that has been guided under the supervision of the teacher, or maybe if as a homework under the supervision of the parent. When I talked about holistic assessment, when I talked about teacher's assessment, self-assessment, and I also said parent assessment. See, any kind of homework that we are assigning to the students, they can complete the same with the help of their parents. So parents should also be able to give some sort of feedback, like I have observed my child doing this task independently. I have noticed my child gathering all data so that the child will be able to reflect on his learning and all. I mean, what all parents notifications are, the parents observation is parent will be able to write in the feedback. So that will be parent feedback. Now another one is a superior assessment tool. See, let me tell you, it is considered as a superior assessment tool because when we talked about assessment of learning, we talked about summative tests at the end of the year. What we used to do, we always think about our half yearly exams, our midterm exams. We just talked about those things only, final term exams, and we used to prepare for it accordingly. But we never bothered about unit tests. We never bothered about any kind of quiz going on in the class, any kind of another activity. So I mean to say, so that is summative assessment of learning. Then we moved on to assessment for learning, that we always talk about, formative assessments that are conducted in the class even without giving any kind of notice. Generally in the class, if we ask any questions to the students will be able to answer any kind of quiz, any kind of think, pair, share activity, visible thinking activity. If we are conducting in the class, that is formative assessment, right? I have already explained, I guess, in my last session that I conducted over here in a teacher class, what is the difference between assessment of learning and assessment for learning, right? And now I am talking about assessment as learning, that is considered as a superior assessment as learning. So portfolio is a part of assessment as learning. When the child is assessing, during that only the child is learning. When the child is collecting the best work, child then recognizes, notices, like, this is the work I could have done better. This is a milestone that I have achieved. Now what's next? Child sets his or her own goals, right? So this is how it is done. So please do consider the same as superior assessment. And it is indicative of students' true abilities. Whatever the child has done, we get to know about his or her true abilities, and shows growth over time, progress. I have already said, when it is a year-long maintenance, it shows growth over time. And another point is it promotes students' abilities, as I've already discussed, and evaluates students' learning within a specific course, and its purpose may be a combination of all the three areas. I already said scholastic is co-scholastic, and any other maybe outdoor activity that is directly or indirectly related to that. Okay, so now what are the pros of this portfolio comprehensive evaluation? I will not be going in detail because I've already talked a lot about this. This is self-reflection, AAL, assessment as learning. I have just explained. And it gives the child SWOT analysis for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Child will be able to know about his or her strengths, weakness, and opportunities, any kind of threats if they are related. The child will be able to notice, and this is required for providing guidance and counseling. Students, they need guidance and counseling, and a teacher will be able to guide the students based on the portfolio, right? And then progression. It shows progression because it is continuous. It is continuous throughout the year. Anything that we start from the beginning, slowly and gradually, when we move ahead, we keep on progressing. So that shows the progression, how the child progressed right from the beginning till end. Now, there are some cons too. Certainly, all the teachers, when you will get to know what all things to be done, what all documents to be put inside, what kind of assessment it is. So it is really very, very vast too. Though we are defining learning outcomes, but still it is very, very time consuming. We have to complete our syllabus. We have to check our notebooks, correction work, so many tasks. Maybe some of the tasks are assigned to us by the management too, that generally we think that are not at all related to academics. Then still we feel it is really very, very time consuming. That's why most of the teachers, most of the schools, they avoid focusing on, they say, oh, just 5 marks are there, just whatever is there written in the notebook, just give those marks, 5, 4, 3, and that's it. But this is what I'm telling you, that is a reality. Now, if I talk about reliability, initially I said they are very, very authentic. Now I'm saying reliability, because sometimes you see the children, they do not submit the work that is authentic, that is done by them. They maybe submit the work that is done by their peer group, that is done by their friends, their parents, outside agencies and all. So that means they are not reliable. That's why I said if it is to be done, that has to be done in collaboration with the teacher as well as the student. So the teacher will be able to authenticate this is the work that is child's original work. And this is effort taking. Yeah, we know very well a lot of efforts are required. Proper training is required. If you are not aware what all things to be there in the portfolio, any random work is being done. So for that requires a proper training, and expert mentors are required. Students and teachers both required mentoring for that. Now I am going to give you a sample of the portfolio, right? You can go ahead either online e-portfolio, digital portfolio, or you can ask your students to go with the scrapbook kind of portfolio in a file they can maintain however they would like to do. Okay, generally we consider A4 size portfolio, and in that we just put all the papers, because otherwise if they do their work on a different sizes of paper, somewhere worksheets are A4 size sheet, homework assignment A3 size sheet, somewhere they have done on a poster. So it becomes very difficult to collect all the articles at one place. So go ahead with one standard size, either A3 or A4, then go ahead with that, right? So now there is, this is a glimpse of the sample portfolio that you'll be able to see. So this is being created in PowerPoint. So that is another first of all, I'm telling you one digital tool on which you will be able to create your portfolio. Children, they have been learning in their schools PowerPoint. You are also masters in PowerPoint. You have been creating number of PowerPoint presentations for making your online classes interesting and engaging, right? So child's name, child's photograph, session, class, and then school's name, right? And then what all information you would like to put. And then the portfolio, we always teach our students we should have SMART goals. SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. As we write our learning outcomes that are SMART, we should ask our students to go for SMART goals, right? So for that, see what the child has written, because the child is in lower kindergarten, the child has here the parents need to help, here the teachers need to help for that, and you have to think how it is to be done. In some of the schools, teachers, because student teacher ratio is very less, it's student teacher ratio in junior classes is 15:1, and then the teachers, they are creating the portfolios for the students for the entire year, and they're not giving the report card marks at the end of the year. They just share the portfolios with the parents, like this is what the child has learned. And this kind of report card, every parent would like to see. See, you being parents, would you like to have this kind of report card at the end of the year for your child's growth? Or you just want in English, the child has scored 20, then 30, then 40. What kind of portfolio would you like to have? If you can ping in the chat box, because I have been talking since a long time. Let me see. What do you type in the chat box? What kind of portfolio, what kind of report card would you like to have for your children, especially for the junior grades, primary grades? Yeah, yes, anyone? I mean, you just want marks, or you just want some details, something that reflects their journey? Yeah. Yes, then only we'll be able to go ahead with it. And really apologize. I think I have been speaking so fast because I have been told I have to cover in a very short span of time. And there are so many things to be done. And I really apologize for that. Yeah, everybody is talking about progression, the details, smart report card. Wow, wonderfully written. Yes, so such kind of things we want. Yeah, thank you. Thanks all. So now, the child for child, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Specific goal, it has been mentioned, the child's goal is to learn writing A to Z or Z, whatever we speak, and 1 to 20, right? And a specific goal and writing independently. This is measurable. Child says, I want to write independently, not with the help of my mother or teacher. And then it is very, very specific in proper lines and format. Not only the child has mentioned that I will be just writing A to Z and 1 to 20. No, child has mentioned I'll be writing independently. I'll be writing in proper lines and format. And the target the child has set, time bound, timely, December 22. By then, the child will be able to write it. That is the goal that has been set by the child. Let us teach our children to write the SMART goals. You see, the child has mentioned, with the guidance from teacher and the parent, I will be able to cover it. I mean, the goal, the task has become very, very specific, measurable. Can we measure it? Just put some questions. Is it specific? Yes, because A to Z, 1 to 20, it has been mentioned. And it is measurable. Yes, we will be able to measure when the child has already mentioned in proper lines and format. If the child is able to write in lines and format, we'll be able to measure whether the child is able to write or not. Attainable, do you think is the child will be able to attain it? The child has said has taken number of months. We are on July right now, and child has said by December I'll be able to cover the same. Yes, the child will be able to attain it. Realistic? Yes, it is realistic. It is not something that cannot be achieved. Timely, time has already been mentioned. So all the things will be there. We have to teach our students also to write the SMART goals. Now move on to the next slide. Okay, now in portfolio, the child had written something about grow and glow areas as well. Child has identified, that is called SWOT analysis too. I have shared earlier in the beginning, right? Grow areas where the child is growing. Glow areas where the child is already glowing and doing pretty well. Child has mentioned the child has to grow in writing skills. And for that, the child has already set some goals in the first slide. And the child has to work on teamwork. Maybe the child is working independently, needs some more attention on teamwork, on collaboration. And the glow areas, spoken English, the child is speaking really very well, fluent and accent, fluency and accent also. And the child loves drawing. Very good. I mean, the students will be able to define their glow and grow areas, or maybe you can talk about strengths and opportunities. That's up to you. And now moving ahead, all about me. Students will be able to add something about themselves. See, this is for all age groups. I have given you an example of a lower kindergarten. Likewise, you can go for the senior grades also. And accordingly, their likes and dislikes, they change, right? And all about me, the child has written about general things are there. I'm not talking about this slide because I have to talk about other slides also. This is the paucity of time. You can take a screenshot if you want. They can talk about all about me. And then see, starting from day one, I told you as and when you will be starting a portfolio, you have to start from day one. So here, the first day of the school, and because it is a digital portfolio, so we have added a recording also. It's written happy first day of virtual school. So what was that for the child? So that has been recorded and the child will be able to paste either the video or maybe that is the online link, right? I guess I have not shared the sound with you. You will be able to just see it. The child is practicing at home too after that. Okay, so that you have put it. And then the child is showing progression, right? My progression. First drawing, then second drawing, then drawing. I have put here the symbols for calendar and the clock as well. Means the time stamp to be put over here. The child has to mention, obviously with the help of parent, right? Because the child is small and for the, the children of the senior classes, obviously they'll be able to do themselves. Teachers have to guide, like maybe this is done April, then May, then in June, the child is progressing slowly and gradually and showing gradual improvement in drawing. Let me tell you, instead of just giving marks to the students, like in drawing, you have got 25. Now look here, this is the clear progression from one time to another. Now, the child has participated in any kind of co-curricular activities. You'll be able to mention that also as your role plays. Again, one video has been mentioned. The child has taken part in a role play, right? And now, the lessons that I enjoyed, the children, what all lessons they have enjoyed being in a class, being at home. Maybe I have mentioned 2-3 shadows, learning through shadows, shadow puppets, when we are talking about learning about 3 wise monkeys, exploring different kinds of numbers. So this is how that you can mention that also, right? And then I love reciting rhymes. You can mention any kind of the co-curricular activities. I just want to tell you for that. And then see, now I can describe objects. What all skills the children they are learning, right? Because these are junior children, we don't have to separate portfolio for different subjects. We can have one compiled subject for mathematics, for English, for EVS. We are talking about the skills. The child has learned about how to describe certain kinds of objects, right? So likewise, the child is describing. You can also even ask your children to describe something that is available at home, describing the cycle, scooter, their personal objects. So that will enhance their skills and you will be able to add it. And now, moving from progression, I'm talking about junior to senior classes. Now we have move on to, let me check the time too. I'm so sorry. Okay. You have to add like the children. So this is of course not for the junior class. I'm just added something like children, they'll be able to have place their subjects on the dartboard where they are placed. I am very good at, as you see, we have been conducting 3 lights or traffic light activity in our classes, where we have been teaching our students like what are the areas they are very good at, what are the areas they think they can do better on their own with the passage of time, and some of the areas they really need to focus on with the help of teacher, mentor, maybe they have to put a lot of hard work. So accordingly, they have to define. And now there in front of you, this is term 2. If you just have a look in term 1, some of the subjects, they were there in the red area, some were in the yellow area, and then in the green one. And in term 2, the children, they have progressed and moved from red to yellow area. And then some of the subjects that were in yellow, and now they have mastered it. So this is how we have to show the progression. Now their child is assessing himself or herself. Now verbal linguistic, you can talk about like the children, they have talked about how they have moved from one area to another. I mean, this child has clearly mentioned, I have good communication skills. I enjoy speaking in class. However, I don't like to read books, but I have started liking reading, presenting the summary, because my teacher has been using a lot of strategies, right? So now I told you, attach other areas also. SDGs, sustainability, being naturalistic. So what are the children they are doing at school, at home? You can add, children can add that also. And academics, I initially talked about the assignments. The child has placed assignments over there and child has given the remarks. This is for senior grade I'm talking about. Like I have started enjoying my lessons and I have got not full marks, but whatever, I'll do it later better. So, and then another one, any kind of remarks that you give, see when the children, they like it, that is the best work. They have mentioned motivating remarks by my teacher, encourage me to do well in the subject. That are the words of a student, right? And so there can be some errors in it. So it's just think about, just look at the feelings conveyed by the students. Like they are really very happy, very thankful. They are saying like such kind of remarks. They encourage them to do better day by day, day by day. And learning style, you know, we have different learning styles to grab the things. So children, they have mentioned like, I love this kind of learning style. This is made by the student only. This is made by my student who has mentioned the pictures. So Anne has just written the lots of hands-on activities, lab lessons, experiments, outdoor classes make my biology and chemistry my favorite subjects. So this is how the children, they learn about themselves. So at the just end of the session, just would like to quickly tell you there are a few portals that you can use for digital portfolio. Google Sites, you will be able to create some kind of websites. I'll be just showing you that as well. Canva, you have been using already. You have been making worksheets also. I guess yesterday only you have attended, maybe day before yesterday, by on this teacher class on Canva. That can also be used for the same. Wakelet you can use. Google Slides can be used. PowerPoint, I have shown you just right now. And there is one Sway too. So let me just share my another screen and will show you something that quickly I have made on Google Sites. In Google Sites, children will be able to create their own websites. I have made my portfolio. You being teachers, you can also create your portfolios. Because when you are going somewhere, a resume is not enough. Nowadays, when you are going to the schools for jobs also, resume is not sufficient just to give an idea of what do you know, right? So this is my web page, my website that I have made, my just to have, I mean, this sample for you. Like workshops I organized, they'll be landing on that page. Subject enrichment activities, right? YouTube links, Facebook. I mean, just the first page, and accordingly you can go ahead with that. See, see, I mean, this is how you can create different pages. It's just a sample that I have created. It's not complete, though I created one in the book creator. I have created one in that. So if you have any questions now, I can move on to that chat. And see, for these things, we have to have different specific sessions, how to create on Google site, how to create on Wakelet, how to create on another one, Sway and all. So I have created one on book creator also. Let me see, while reading your questions, if I'll be able to show, I'll be able to show you that as well. There are a few questions. Which platform did you use to create your portfolio? I created on Google Sites. That is a form of a website, Google site. We can have one session on that also if Anuj sir plans for that. And any other questions? If you have, you can ping. Yeah, certainly we'll be able to plan. And let me see if I'll be able to show you just to give you a glimpse that I have created on some another app that I really love to use. That is also free to use app, and students would also love to do it. Any other questions, please? I'm just trying to open Sideby. Yeah, I'll be able to show you. Wait, I am able to open it. Yeah. I'm just going to share my screen again. Just have a look. Is my screen visible? Just tell me something. Is the screen visible? My portfolio, anybody? Yes. Okay, thank you. So I have created this portfolio in Book Creator, right? So see, that is also very, very easy for the children to use. You can guide them. That is freely available tool, Book Creator. You will be able to add your pictures. You'll be able to add links. You'll be able to add, see, this is a video. You can add videos also. You can add links too. So any kind of thing you will be able to add, as I have already shared with you, right? You will be able to add images. You will be able to draw also if you want, insert self-click pictures. So this is my class activity. This was considered the best, and it's reflected as Teach 2030 website as well. So I have highlighted because this is one of my achievements. Like it is reflected all over the world. This is a, you see, international platform. So I'll be able to show that. That will be really very great for me. Any kind of sessions that I have participated in. So any kind of certificates that you would like to show your learning. So that kind of portfolios you will be able to create. And I started doing it earlier, and then I left it in between. So what all things you will be able to do, you will be able to create that. This has been done on Book Creator. So any questions? What is the ideal number of pages in a portfolio? See, there is no limit to it, but you can give according to the age group. According to the age group, see, at least if the children, they are doing 15-20 pages per subject, so should be there, not less than that. You will not be able to have any idea for that. This is Book Creator, freely available app. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes. If you have any other questions, you may please ping in the chat box. Yes, somebody has raised hand. I guess, I do not know whether you'll be able to unmute or not. You just ping the question in the chat. Student will take it home at the end of the year. See, this is another thing, very good question that you have asked. Somewhere they are saying students will be able to take to their home next year. And in some of the schools, this practice is being followed. If I, being a class 6 teacher, suppose I have made my children to create this kind of portfolios, and then I have to, that portfolio is to be handed over to the next teacher, so that next teacher will be able to have some kind of idea, okay, what are the child's interests and all. So the same can be done, and after that you can maybe hand over it to the child. The child can take it home also. Share the link of your portfolio. Book Creator. Okay, I'll see that, because the link has not been created. That is offline only. Is it mandatory to make portfolio separate? Yes, ma'am. It is mandatory to create portfolio, especially for the board classes. We are giving it 9th and 10th. We are doing it for separately. 6th, 7th, and 8th also, when we are giving marks for that. But nowadays, when we are talking about subject integration, if you have integrated 2 subjects, you can make one portfolio integrated for those 2 subjects. Or in junior classes, even you go for one portfolio where at least they can have 2-3 pages for each subject. So one compiled portfolio can also be done, right? Because obviously, if the child is writing about child's strengths, if the child is writing in particular in sync with that particular subject, that will vary. If the child is writing in general about the child's abilities and all, so that will be same. So you can create one portfolio also, but in one portfolio, you should have separate pages for different subjects. As I have just shown you, biology and another maths, and also different activities can be done. Okay. Any other queries? Any other questions? Please, you may ask. I'm here. I guess 2 more minutes are left. Step-by-step procedure to prepare this. Sure, we can organize, because this is, it was journal overview of the portfolio. What all things will be there, what is to be done. We will be having a session on digital portfolio. There we will be talking about step-by-step how to create such kinds of portfolios. You being teachers, please do go ahead, you create your portfolios. How many of you are having the portfolios? Do you learning styles can be included for? Yes, certainly. I have already said learning styles, Geeta ma'am. Learning styles will be included for Junior children, yes, certainly we can. I was just going through some of the questions. If can we have combination of e-poll? Yes, ma'am. Certainly, if you Chavi, ma'am, if you're asking in one class, yes, we can have a combination of e-portfolio and notebook portfolio. When we're talking about student voice and choice, we can go for that also. That's perfectly fine. And one more very important thing, teachers, please, when you will be grading the students, you will not be comparing the portfolio of one child with another child. This is really very important. See, my strengths, my goals, my areas that are entirely different from another child. So what is to be done? You have to just check that particular child's goal, and then you have to see whether the child is achieving with the passage of time or not. So you do not have to compare. One child has given you a portfolio in a hard copy, another child has given you in a digital one, very good, attractive. No, you cannot compare. You cannot. Right? So anything else? Otherwise, this time is over. We can
Yes, ma'am. I think there are no more questions. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Meenakshi, ma'am, for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
evening ahead.
Thank you all. Thank you.